So when Loki and Sylvie reach the citadel at the end of the time, Miss Minutes welcomed them knowing they would kill He Who Remains. So she left them and went back to TVA to take Ravonna to 1868 in the sacred timeline to drop the TVA guidebook by the window of young Victor Timely to help him grow up to be scientist interested in time, looking exactly the same as other Kang variants. But when we went with Loki and Mobius to 1893 to see adult Victor, we noticed that we are witnessing a branch timeline, which means that Ramona giving young Victor guidebook that was a Nexus event that created a branch timeline while Victor was meant to live a normal life in the sacred timeline. Back in season 1 finale, he who remains said to Loki and Sylvie that he was a scientist who lived in the 31st century and so were his other variants. So why is Victor from the 19th century? So the theory suggests that the Kang variant who won the multiversal war went in time to his younger self when he was a newborn and kidnapped him, then took him to 1850s so he would live in hiding under the name Victor Timely. This of course was a Nexus event that created a branch timeline from Winner's Kang original timeline, and this branch timeline is preserved to be the sacred timeline. So Winner Kang destroyed all other timelines universes and created TVA to prevent any branching that would again cause a multiverse war among Kang variants and exiled himself in the end of the time where he exists outside of the only timeline left, the sacred timeline where Victor, a version of him, lives a normal life in the 19th century. Why would he need a version of him on the sacred timeline and why in the 19th century? Winner Kang knew that he will die sometime and the sacred timeline will start branching into multiverse again. So he entrusted Miss Minute with resetting everything by deriving young Victor out of the sacred timeline, leading him down the path to be exactly where Winner Kang was, as if he never died. And that's where I think the name He Who Remains comes from. So when Victor takes Winner Kang's place, he wins the multiversal war the same way it was won before and becomes He Who Remains and recreates and rules the TVA to preserve the sacred timeline where a young version of him lives a normal life so he can replace him if he dies, and the sacred timeline started branching again, and this goes on and on in an Ouroboros loop started by Winner Kang. But many fan theories suggest that we are watching the last circle, which would lead to Secret Wars and the birth of a completely new universe multiverse with the reboot of Marvel Cinematic Universe. Many fans have their own theory which states that Victor is completely a different variant who may be the new ruler of TVA, but he is not really He Who Remains because of the way he talks. But many fans think that he may be become the evil version of Kang because currently time passes and people changes very differently.